Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is Scaling the Mountain of Perpetual Distance by Brother Andy Albright, 32nd degree, KCCH, and comes from the May-June 2025 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. Freemasonry unites men of every country, sect, and opinion who might otherwise have remained at a perpetual distance. Consideration should be given to the truth that perpetual distance is not the problem, but rather the symptom of the issues plaguing humanity across the many centuries of human existence. Criticism we hear today of the divisive nature of media and politics is hardly new, for in the 1800s, the degree lectures in morals and dogma already warn of the tumult and uproar of politics. 15th degree, Knight of the East or of the Sword, and that the press is the great sower of falsehood. 28th degree, Knight Commander of the Temple. Political polarization has likely always been with us, though the calmer, tolerant voice of Masonry can provide a welcome relief. Religious divisions, of course, can also keep human beings at a perpetual distance. Even in our modern age that seeks to be inclusive and accepting, places of worship sometimes have become sources of intense political influence rather than figures of refuge from political squabbles. The power of the pulpit to wield influence over a congregation must be tempered with the humility of servitude, or else a religious service to glorify God becomes little more than a meeting for political action. In bridging perpetual distance and turning rivalries into friendships, how, first, do we define what constitutes true friendship and false friendship? The natural tendency of man is to make judgments about someone within mere seconds, although those judgments might become modified over time as two persons come to know one another. Such is the nature of how a friendship can begin. However, what can exert influence on friendship are those things that each individual holds to be of value, especially in the area of strong political, social, and religious convictions. As for a false friendship, there are those who would seek to establish a relationship for no other purpose than to gain information about another person with the intent of using the information as a source of gossip and murmuring. In Nicomachean Ethics, Book 8, Aristotle writes that a true friendship does not exist if the nature of the friendship is for an individual's utility, for such friends merely use each other for their own interests and are dissatisfied as they always want to get the better of the bargain. By contrast, those who are friends on the ground of virtue are anxious to do well by each other, the ancient Greek philosopher maintains. Despite sincere efforts to build friendships across a perpetual distance, the old errors of mankind are persistent in their desire to infect the minds of men and cause strife and discord. Sadly, fanaticism, self-righteous indignation, and haughtiness persist in their quest to keep men separated, even though these vices may keep themselves hidden behind the masks of noble-sounding political ideals and religious convictions. Canto 1 of Dante's Divine Comedy, Inferno, contains an instructive scene in which Dante, here the protagonist, is attempting to scale a mountain, but his pathway is blocked by a leopard, a lion, and a she-wolf. Many scholars associate these three beasts with three of the seven deadly sins: lust, or alternatively, envy, pride, and avarice. However, these three sins exist primarily within a Judeo-Christian context. A more universal trio of possible representations of the three beasts might be incontinence, malice, and mad brutishness, to borrow the words of Henry Francis Carey's translation of Canto 11 of Inferno. In this reading, lust, or conversely, envy, becomes the symptom of spiritual incontinence, a complete lack of control of one's physical and emotional appetites. Like a leopard hiding among the branches of trees, stalking its prey, lust and envy lurk in silence, seeking to consume the unsuspecting. The guilty cannot help themselves because of their spiritual incontinence until such time as the great duty of brotherly love vanquishes the enemy. The lion is an age-old emblem of regal power and authority. a symbol of just monarchs as well as vile tyrants. In this scene, the lion has been viewed by many scholars as indicative of the sin of pride, but this same lion can also be seen as a representation of malice, here meaning wrongful intention. In this view, malice is the driving force behind pride when exercised to lift oneself above another in order to be seen as a figure of power and authority. Malice will drive a man to act only on his own behalf, and the pride of his ego cannot tolerate any challenger. Where malice is king, relief suffers from a lack of employment. The she-wolf is a vile creature found in many legends as a stalker in the night, seeking her prey with an insatiable desire to consume. Many commentators on the she-wolf in this scene in Inferno say she is a symbol of greed and avarice, two words that seem to be equal in meaning but are not. Greed is the selfish desire to accumulate many things in overabundance. Avarice is the greedy desire specifically for wealth and material items. The she-wolf blocking Dante's path is more accurately a representation of greed, having an unrelenting desire to consume anything and everything. In this manner, the she-wolf exhibits the more transitory illusion of mad brutishness, defined as being savagely violent. Falsehoods, lies, and deceit behave in a similar fashion by constantly seeking to devour truth. Thinking of these three beasts confronting Dante as incontinence, malice, and mad brutishness may serve as a reminder for all Masons to be vigilant that the perpetual distance between men may be lessened by good deeds, sincerity, virtue, and the noble, tolerant ideals of Freemasonry. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.